Hey, this is Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, and you're listening to BT Talks Baseball. Take it away, Brett.
And welcome back inside BT Talks Baseball. Brett Topel with you. It's been a while since we've done an episode of BT Talks Baseball. Actually, I haven't done one since last December. I was doing my show BT Talks ... everything. Got the opportunity to interview a lot of different people, entertainers and journalists and athletes from other sports other than baseball. But listen, for me, it's always really about baseball. And I wanted to put out this special edition of BT Talks Baseball because I really had a great opportunity to sit down with one of my all-time favorite players, Doc Gooden, last weekend. And I'm going to play that interview for you in just a few minutes. But listen, the Mets, the Yankees, on top of baseball right now. I can't imagine any complaints that the Mets and Yankees fans might have. And listen, the fact that it is the Mets are, almost 20 games over 500, and they do not have their two best pitchers, and really have not had their two best pitchers for most of the year. So if and when Max Scherzer and Jake DeGrom come back, wow. And if this offense, Alonso is hitting at an MVP clip, as is Aaron Judge over in the Bronx. The Yankees starting pitching has been phenomenal. It's been a fun summer so far. I always say, the best summers in New York are when the Mets and Yankees are both good. And we haven't had that happen in quite some time. Of course, 22 years since the Subway Series, and it's been since 1988 that both teams have been in first place this late in the season. So exciting baseball going on in New York City right now. And I'm going to take you to my conversation I had with the great Dwight Gooden. I did an event with Dwight last weekend. Was fortunate enough to talk baseball with him and talk about his career for the Lend a Hand Project event. And, Doc was so generous with his time, sat down with me for a few minutes just to talk about what's going on with him and some of his memories from his playing days. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this conversation I had with Doc Gooden. I'm so honored to be sitting next to one of the men I idolized as a teenager. I've been hoping to get him on my show for so long. Doc Gooden, welcome to BT Talks Baseball.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hope all is well.
All is well. How you doing? What's been going on?
I'm doing great. Just following my kids around. Been busy. I have my son. He's in high school down in Maryland with my ex-wife. He's going to be a senior next year. Been recruited for all these colleges for football, so I've been traveling with him a lot. It's a lot of fun. I still think he has the perfect size to be a pitcher. But
I was going to say, he has the DNA. He's got everything.
But he loves football, so I support him.
So he's graduating high school. I mean, when you were graduating high school, you were 2 years getting ready for the majors. I mean, it's a real different time. Can you think back, and can you even picture yourself in those days, in 84, 82 drafted, 83 at Lynchburg, and 84 up in the bigs?
Oh, things happen so fast. At that time, for me getting drafted was just a dream come true, and especially getting drafted by the Mets. And at that time, I never talked to any representative from the Mets, so I never saw that coming. It happened, and like you say, going through the minors, working with Davey Johnson, AAA. Davey was the reason why I got to the majors in 84. He saw me pitch a little bit in 83 in the AAA World Series. And he said wherever he managed the following year, he's taking me with him. George Bamberger resigned. Davey got the job. And the rest was history. And if that didn't happen, who knows what could have turned out. But I kid my son a lot about that. He's 17 now. I say, when I was 17, I was getting drafted. I said, when I was 19, I was in the majors. So I say, you're right there, but you're not the man just yet.
Yeah, that's right. You're still the man, but for sure. I spoke to Davey when I was preparing to write my latest book, Mount Rushmore of the New York Mets, which, as you know, you are a part of that 1980s Mount Rushmore. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, and you're on the cover too.
Oh, thank you so much. That's definitely a compliment for me. And when you play, you never think about things like that. And then when your career is over, you look back to see, where you stand amongst most. So I really appreciate that. It was quite an honor.
Well, it was an honor to speak to you for the book. And, when I spoke to Davey for the book, he mentioned, how he was sort of protective of you at the beginning. He had seen how, like, Tommy Lasorda had worked with Fernando and a couple of years earlier, and he was protective. But you and I were talking a little bit before we started this about there was no such thing as a pitch count when you're out there, right? I mean,
actually, it was no pitch count. You just go. But Davey did protect me. I think at the beginning of the season, my first maybe 5 starts, he'll let me go like 5 innings and take me out. And I remember once I got to the All-Star game, I made the All-Star game, and after the All-Star break, he told me, he goes, okay, son, you're your own now. And at that point, the pitch count thing was out the window.
You looked far from a rookie in that All-Star game in San Francisco. Can you remember what it was like to step on that mound? I mean, obviously your performance is legendary.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I was so nervous then because, number one, you're playing around guys in the same clubhouse with Nolan Ryan, Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose, Dale Murphy, Andre Dawson, on guys who I should analyze and pretend I was in my backyard playing with my nephew Gary Sheffield, and now I'm in the same clubhouse with these guys, being interviewed by Howard Cosell, and now getting a pitch, and it's national TV, everybody's watching, and like you said, I'm only 2 years removed from high school, and I used to sit and watch the All-Star games with my dad in the living room, and now here I am out there, so I was so nervous, and then to get the 3 strikeouts, and have Gary Carter as my catcher,
sure,
and I never forget, Gary told me when I come off the mound, he goes, man, wouldn't this be nice to do every 5th day?
Really?
Not knowing we was going to trade for Gary that November, but
of course,
it's just amazing and something that I always cherish.
Absolutely, it's legendary performance, and of course, you went on to win the Rookie of the Year, and in '85, I mean, I've never forgotten. I'm sure you never, but you did it. 24-5, 1.53 ERA, 267, I think, strikeouts, something like that. I mean, '85, you were just a beast. I mean, I remember. As I was 15 in '85, and I remember not wanting to watch the Mets bat when you were pitching because I just had to watch Doc.
It's amazing you said because that year, and no disrespect to any other hitters or teams, but that year I was so locked in, and I was similar to you. Like once we scored a couple of runs, I didn't really care if we scored any more runs. I just wanted to be out on the mound because I felt like that was my day. And it's obviously a bigger crowd, there's more media attention, and I knew it was just bigger than just a baseball game. I accepted the challenge, and Gary Carter played a big part of that. He wanted me, every start, he wanted the 10 strikeouts plus. He wanted a complete game. He wanted a shutout. And he demanded that. He didn't care if I was facing the number 3 hitter or the number 9 hitter. He wanted to complete dominate, and Gary brought a lot of that out of me.
Absolutely, and of course, '85 Cy Young Award, '86 World Championship. We don't have enough time in the day to go through all your accolades, and I want to talk a little bit about what you think about today's game, because I would think the thing about today's game that you think is probably you're probably least happy about is a universal DH, because you wouldn't have been able to hit.
Would have been a hit, and that's part of the game, and that separates, and there's more strategy, I thought, in the National League before the universal DH, and pitchers, we took more pride in hitting, more pride in bunting back then, more pride in running the bases, for doing the little things. And I think lately, the reason they went to the universal DH because pitchers getting hurt bunting, pitchers getting hurt running the bases. And to me, that's kind of disrespectful to the older guys. But normally, like high school, little league, the pitcher is the best athlete on the field. Normally, you get to this level and it's just totally opposite. I don't know what it is, but the game's changed. I think it's a great thing for the Mets with the DH. They get to
exactly.
Guys. They get to take advantage of that, but it's a little different now, and I hate to see the DH go.
So we were kidding before because obviously you pitched a no-hitter for the Yankees in 1996. Tremendous moment for you. 10 years after winning the World Championship with the Mets. But let's make it clear right now. Dwight Gooden's a Met, right?
No doubt about it. I'm always going to be a Met. I cherish my time with the Yankees. I appreciate the opportunity of playing the Yankees. Seeing what it was like playing over there. And Mr. Steinbrenner was great for me, great for my family. And at that time, I think the Yankees had a great thing going. But I'm always going to be a Met, and I'm glad to see what the Mets are doing now with the new ownership. And I think they're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, and it's exciting to see the Mets and the Yankees both playing really well. This deep into the season. I think it's the first time they said since '88, which of course was one of your teams that both were in first place at Labor Day. So not Labor Day, Memorial Day. Labor Day would be good too, but Memorial Day. What do you think about today's game? I mean, it's become so specialized. Starters go 5 innings. You were the king of the complete game. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's different now. I'm still a fan of the game. I still like it. It's a lot of changes that I don't agree with. I don't like to see, especially from a pitcher standpoint, where, like you mentioned, pitchers going 5 innings, 6 innings, not facing lineup 3 times around, 100 pitch count, all these different things, and they're still getting hurt. I'm still having more injuries now than before. Everything's on velocity, spin rate. I like to see them get back to the basics on mechanics. And if a pitcher's pitching good, leave them in, let them stretch them out, because it will help them at the end of the season instead of using starters in the postseason, and then the following year you always see the team that goes the furthest, the next year, most of the time, they have the most injuries to their staff the following year. I think it's just the way it's being used. So I like to get back to somewhat the basics. I kind of understand it, but baseball is a copycat league. If one team's doing something that works, then all the teams start doing it. So hopefully get back to it. Like as we said, one guy old school is Scherzer. So he's still going to give you 7 innings no matter what. I like that. And I think turn these guys loose, let them go. I saw, I think was it the Dodgers the other night? No, not the Dodgers, the Yankees. The Yankees pitchers. I think they had 4 guys in a row, 4 games where each guy went like 7 innings.
Yeah, it's unheard of these days.
Yeah, and to me, that's baseball. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Letting these guys go. The pitch count's good, let them go.
You still love the game, right?
I still love the game.
Yeah.
Baseball is my thing, and I'm probably one of the few guys that, when I see a lot of my old teammates, I say, man, how do you watch so much baseball? I just love it.
Yeah.
Before I got to the majors, I watched games. When I was in the majors, if I came home after the game, I'm watching the West Coast game, whatever I can watch. And even now, when I go home, I'm seeing what's on MLB Network, and I'm watching the games.
That's awesome. Listen, Doc, I have this rare opportunity to be sitting 3 feet from you doing this. I want to thank you for making, my time as a Met fan just so tremendous. It was an honor to watch you pitch. It really was a privilege to watch you pitch because you were an artist. Lord Charles was your curveball. It wasn't even Uncle Charlie, it was Lord Charles. And I just want to thank you for everything, and I want to thank you for spending a few minutes with me here on BT Talks Baseball.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for all the support you gave me when I was pitching. I really gave me a lot of energy at Shea Stadium. There's no better feeling than having 2 strikes on the batter and everybody standing up clapping when the 3rd strike.
Especially at Big Shea, right? Big Shea got loud.
Yes, there's no better feeling. So
all right, Doc, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, well, hope you enjoyed that. Loved having the opportunity to sit down with Doc Gooden. May have him on again at some point, just because I could talk to him for hours and hours. And thanks for tuning in to this special edition of BT Talks Baseball. Like I said, we will be back at you later this summer. Until then, Tug McGraw said it, you gotta believe.